Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. His name is Austin Jablonski. He is a wide receiver out of Concordia University, Nebraska. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good, Jimmy. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. Wanted to let some people know about this guy who plays in the NAIA. Probably one of the best prospects coming out of the NAIA this season, was an All-American, also having a great season this year, and could quite possibly see him hit the pros here very soon. So, Austin, go ahead, introduce yourself, and we'll get started.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Austin Jablonski. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. Play wide receiver at Concordia, and just like I said, I'm happy to be here today.
Cool. So, Austin, you weren't always a receiver. You also played some quarterback in your time. But just kind of want to set the stage for some people, actually. So let's start. For you in high school, there at Lincoln Pius, and so just sort of work from there. I have in my notes, along with football, did some basketball, did some track and field. Talk me through you as a high school athlete there at Lincoln Pius.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, went to Lincoln Pius, the 10th high school here in Lincoln, and just growing up, I loved playing any sport I could. Like people would always ask me, "What's my favorite sport?" And my answer was, "It's whatever one I was playing at the time." And so I think at Pius they had a great environment where they really supported, multi-sport athletes, and a lot of my friends were three-sport athletes, and so it was the norm. At the time it might not be the same way now, but to play three sports, and so yeah, I played basketball, football, ran track, did the hurdles in track. I have the school record in hurdles. We won state championship in basketball, and it was just I couldn't imagine doing it another way.
So when you say school record, do you remember the number there for hurdles?
I want to say it was 14.56, somewhere in there.
So 14.56, that's in the 110-meter hurdle. For people that they just for frame of reference, a solid number. You weren't just successful, on a football field, but you were also able to do very well in some other sports as well. Any word perhaps that you have to tell, maybe some young guys, who are up and coming and developing, maybe still in high school? What would you kind of give them any sort of advice when it comes to maybe perhaps some of these other sports?
Absolutely. I think that playing basketball, running track, helped me in football because it taught me how to compete in different ways, and it teaches you how to win. And even if a certain sport isn't your quote unquote best sport, it helps you learn to compete in a different environment. It lets you step into different leadership positions, and it just kind of prepares you for challenges that you will face in your quote unquote best sport. So I recommend being a multi-sport athlete to all young athletes. Stops kind of the burnout effect of just playing one sport year round, and it's a ton of fun as well.
I mean, I think it just depends on the coach. Some coaches encourage it, some coaches don't, because obviously they don't want you getting injured doing anything else, and then they just kind of kick themselves. But I am amongst your opinion, actually, because I do feel it does help athletes overall. Shows that you're competitive. I like it. Austin, again, wanted to just kind of walk through your journey a bit. Out of high school, you actually went to University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Walk me through that process and, how you all, came in from high school.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because, like every Nebraska kid, it was my dream growing up to play football for Nebraska. Just you hear about the glory days of them winning under Tom Osborne, and you just growing up hearing from your parents, what a great program it is, and so that was my dream. And I grew up selling waters in the football stadium on game days. Like I did that from fifth grade all the way until I had to take my junior game day visits, to different schools my junior year of high school. And so it was really kind of a full circle moment for me when I could walk on and, play football there. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way I really wanted it to. There was no avenue that I saw to, get on the field there. I think in the wide receiver group there, it was, I think I played with about 40 different receivers in my, 2 years there. It was just kind of a revolving door. Um, it was hard to get a one-on-one with the coaches and kind of figure out what I needed to do to see playing time. And so, me and my family made the decision that it was just best for me to, go find somewhere that I could play.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, obviously it's worked well for you. I mean, you're an All-American right now, but for people that maybe aren't as familiar, obviously you took the route of going to the NAIA versus perhaps maybe like a D2 school or anywhere else. Walk me through that process for people that aren't familiar.
Yeah, so I played quarterback in high school, and when I walked on at Nebraska, I moved to wide receiver. And then, when I transferred, I thought, I think I might want to play quarterback again. And so I had a good feeling that without, it'd been a couple years. Um, it was probably a better option for me to move down a couple levels, and so I could play quarterback again. And ironically, that didn't end up working out that way. I switched back to receiver, but just when I was looking around for schools, I came across Concordia, and I took a visit, and things felt really good for me there. And so I ended up pulling the trigger, and I couldn't be happier that I did it.
Well, I mean, Austin, let's just be real. It's fate. You were meant to be a wide receiver. You've done very well at that position. Been all conference, all American. This year, you're looking to do it yet once again, leading the NAIA in a lot of, statistical categories. Again, let's talk more about Concordia for people that aren't as familiar with the school. Tell us about that campus, that program, and just give us the pitch to that school, man. I mean, just give them a little bit of love.
Yeah, absolutely. Out in Seward, Nebraska, which is about 20 miles west of Lincoln, a nice rural community. And it was definitely a bit of a culture shock to me going from Lincoln, where you're seeing people that you don't even know walk into class to I know everybody on campus in Seward. Um, but I mean, the people in Seward have taken such great care of me. Right when I got there, they got me hooked up with an accounting internship, and the professors have been just outstanding. Um, and the football coaches are, people that truly care about you, and that was something that I hadn't experienced on the college level yet. Coach Dabrico and our head coach and Coach Beasley, our wide receiver coach, especially, they have just looked out for me every step of the way. And I couldn't be more grateful to be at a school like Concordia.
Awesome. Yeah, every now and then, like people get lost at the top level. That isn't to say that you can't play at that level. It's just you're fighting for playing time, like you're trying to gain relationships, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. It has obviously worked out for you very well. Let's continue to talk about you as a wide receiver and just your offense there at Concordia. Describe your offense a little bit there and how you're utilized.
Yeah. We have a pretty fun offense at Concordia. We like to try a few different things. I would say it's mostly based off of a lot of RPOs for us, and so we'll attach a lot of slants, a lot of out routes, a lot of go routes. But we also have this year one of our goals was to increase our efficiency in our four verticals passing concepts, and we've definitely been able to do that. And we just like to push the ball downfield, but we have a great run game. We have an all senior offensive line, and that's really helped our run game. And we got Mark Arp, a great running back that's just been killing it this year. And so I think we've had a very balanced attack this year, which has just opened up a lot of things for everyone in the offense.
So, I mean, you talk about, just kind of, uh, you know, the vertical offense there. Would you say that perhaps that go route is your favorite route? Again, I'm just trying to pick your brain a little bit as to like what you like to run out there for your quarterback. Is that your favorite one or what?
It's definitely got to be up there. I feel like anytime a competitor, especially as a wide receiver, sees that they get to go just run straight and go up and grab a ball, they're going to take that opportunity. I do love running the slant. I think, with my big frame, I can, position myself between the ball and the defender well. And, I like to make the catch and get yards after the catch. I think I pride myself on being able to get yak yards. And um, I would say the slant's probably my number one route, but go route's definitely up there.
Awesome. Again, you had mentioned your big frame, and so I kind of have to talk through this for some people who aren't familiar with you. Bro, I got you in my notes 6'2", 215. I don't know if that's changed since last we've corresponded, but that's a pretty big frame. I mean, that's a guy who's very tough. That's a guy who can, stay out there, be an effective blocker when asked to. But like you said, also tough enough to run that slant and get in the middle of the field and be aggressive when necessary. So any more you want to add to that before we move on?
I think you covered it.
All right, yeah, sounds pretty good. So let's continue to talk. I mean, again, you guys at Concordia doing very well. Very very good offense this season. You're sitting at 7-2 right now with one more game left to go in the regular season, I believe. Um, uh, is this last game? Is this like a win and you're in kind of thing? Like when it comes to playoff? I mean, I'm just trying to get a feel for like how you're going to close out the season.
Yeah, that's a great question. The answer is we don't fully know yet, but we know that we do need to win to get it, to have a chance to get in. The NAIA, it's a little bit interesting of a format for the playoffs. They kind of just updated it where, the conference champions get an automatic bid, and then there's 7 at-large bids, and we are just right on the cusp of being one of those at-large bids. There's going to be, if we win on Saturday, there will be a 3-way tie in our conference for second place. And so then, it's like, do they let 4 teams in from the same conference? I don't believe that's ever happened before in the NAIA, but, we do know that we need to win on Saturday to even be in that conversation. So that's where our focus lies right now.
Well, maybe if you go out there, you score like, 45 points or something wild, maybe that'll be enough to impress the voters,
We're definitely thinking a
Obviously,
big win helps us.
you guys have had games like that where you have completely blown out your opponents and where you've had, tremendous success. What would you say has been maybe one of your, I don't know, favorite games or memorable moments that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'd say a few weeks ago we played Doane, and we were pretty effective at throwing the ball, and so I I think I had 200 yards that game, and it's just when it's always fun when you see your team having success like that on that type of scale. I would say my favorite win this year was definitely over number 2 Northwestern. Knocking off the number 2 team in the nation was huge for us, and away at that was that's just something you don't really forget with your teammates in the locker room afterwards. That's that was a great moment I'll never forget.
I mean, it's definitely great to have a win over guys like that. For people who aren't familiar, uh, Northwestern, they have a pretty good offense, like over the past several seasons, and so being able to go toe to toe with a team like that and to come out with a victory, that's awesome. That's definitely something to be proud of. So, um, let's give a shout out to some of your teammates real quick. You mean you talked a little bit about that senior O line, good running back. Who else there at Concordia do we need to know?
I think I got to shout out my roommates. John Goodwin plays tight end, who has actually been my roommate since my freshman year of college. We started at Nebraska together. Um, I transferred to Concordia. He graduated from Nebraska, and then he's here for his grad year. So getting to be on the field and playing with him is, that's been pretty awesome. Um, Another one would be my other roommate, Nick Leader, plays linebacker for us here at Concordia, and he also was at Nebraska and transferred over when I transferred over. So I'm not saying that I got some recruiting skills, but I think it's just been fun to be able to play with guys that I've played with my whole college career. I think that's pretty rare for them to play at two different schools with a couple guys.
Well, I mean, it certainly helps. If that helps the recruiting, then so be it. Obviously, they have seen you, you know, prosper there at Concordia, so they come and they think, well, why not? I mean, we're coming to a school who, they've been success. You've guys seen great success, and hopefully you're able to get this one last win, and make it to the playoffs, man. I mean, obviously that's a huge deal if you can do that, move forward. I mean, definitely be an exciting way to end the season. So, um, what about some of these guys that we've talked about, or even other people? Who would you say has been the most influential person for you throughout your athletic journey?
I would say I got to go with my dad there. I mean, just being adopted. Me and my dad have always just had a great relationship. Um, and he's just always been looking out for me. So he coached me growing up, and then when I got a little older, he kind of took a step back and just kind of let me figure some things out. But he was always there to give me support and give me confidence along the way. And I wouldn't be able to do it without him. So.
Well, I do want to get a chance to meet you a little bit more outside of football. So let's just kind of carry on that conversation a little bit. You'd mentioned, being adopted, and I feel like that is a huge part of who you are, obviously. Um, is there anything more that you want to say about that? I mean, I don't know if you have any stories along those lines that you want to share, or anything else about yourself that you'd like to share.
I would just say, like I still got a great relationship with like my biological mom down in Wichita, Kansas, Carla, my sister Marissa. I got a younger brother, Max, older sister Serena. And just it's been interesting to be able to, it's a little bit of a different family dynamic when, you got, you know, four parents. So but the more the merrier. So it's just been like having a bigger support system my entire life has just been, huge for me. And so I've just, it's a unique story, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
I mean, sometimes, blood is family, and I get that, but sometimes it's also like love is family, and that's really all that matters. So, and you definitely have an interesting dynamic of a lot of people in your life. And so, I mean, I love and appreciate that. Anything else about Austin Jablonski we need to know? Hobbies, interests, special talents, anything else you want to, talk to people about?
I don't know about any special talents, but I just kind of mentioned like I love to compete in everything that I do. A more recent one that I picked up was golf. In the summertime, I love to golf. I love to, we got a ping pong table in the locker room, and I'm always playing on that. And so, I just love to compete. That's who I am. Um, I think that tells you most of everything you need to know about me.
All right. I'm gonna try and shoot you a couple quick, you know, fun questions here. So, favorite breakfast cereal?
I got to go with the peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Peanut butter Captain Crunch. I don't get that one often enough. It's been forever since I've had that, but definitely a good one. Um, let's say, I don't know. Do you have any pets, or perhaps a pet that you'd like to own?
The only pet I've ever owned was I had a hamster when I was younger, Flapjack. but I mean, I don't know if that really counts. I'd love to have a dog someday. You can't really walk a hamster, but I kind of will wait until, I got more time to, dedicate to the dog. I feel like I'd just be away from home too much.
No, I get you. Hamsters, you gotta kind of have to put in a ball, and you don't really walk them. You just kind of let them go.
Yeah.
So no, I get you. That's kind of fun. Let's say uh, vacation bucket list. Where would you like to visit, man? What would be that one place for you? If again money was no object, like if you can go anywhere, where would you go?
I've never been really outside of the United States. Like I've never been to Europe. I'd love to make it over there at some point. You know, Asia, Africa. I love to just see the world. I don't know if I have one specific destination in mind, but I would love to just, see everything at some point.
Cool, cool. Trying to see if I could steer us back into the sports realm of things. Growing up in Nebraska, who are you a big fan of, man? I mean, who are you a fan of growing up? I mean, you're kind of out in the middle of, I know when you're looking at like professional football, again, most people in Nebraska, they just look at University of Nebraska. But who are you a fan of?
Yeah, I feel like being in Nebraska, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. Like you're not attached to one team, so you can
Mhm.
really root for whoever you want. But also, like all my friends that have a team have some obscure reason for being a fan of that team. I would say football wise, you see a lot of Chiefs fans here, a lot of Broncos fans. Um, I've never really had one specific NFL team that's been my favorite. I just kind of liked players. I really loved watching like Russell Wilson growing up. Football wise, basketball wise, it's kind of just like I love just watching games, NBA wise. So I've never specifically had a team myself, but it's I kind of like it that way because I'm not all down if they lose or anything like that.
Hey, no, it's fine. Is there maybe a wide receiver that like to study, maybe bring a little bit of their game to yours? I mean, is there, I don't know, a Bronco, a Chief, or somebody else who you like to watch?
I really loved watching Megatron back in the day. He was always
Can't go
just a
wrong there with one of the best.
no, I mean just a dog. The way that he would fight. Julio, same deal. Sammy Watkins, I love to watch Sammy Watkins, the way he would catch the ball and get upfield. I think it just you can learn from all those guys. You just, pick and choose different aspects of their game that you try to model into yours. You can only be better off for it.
Well, Austin, perhaps one of these days, people will look back and they'll think, maybe one of these days I want to play like Austin Jablonski, and hopefully you'll get a chance to play alongside some of these pros here very soon. Sure, some scouts are wondering about you, as they're going through this process right now. So, as we close up shop, talk to them directly. Tell them what they would be getting in a player like you if they took a chance on this wide receiver out of Concordia. So, hit them with your pitch.
Like I kind of mentioned, I'm a big frame wide receiver. I play the game hard. I block. I go get the ball. I care about my teammates, and I'm just the kind of guy that comes to work every day, ready to give full effort on every single thing that I'm doing. I love to be where my feet are, and so, I just don't take opportunities for granted, and so like I would dedicate myself to my mission, and so that's all I really want to say about that.
Right. Well, certainly getting a very good wide receiver right now. Again, All-American wide receiver from Concordia there in Nebraska, and looking to finish the season strong. So, Austin, want to wish you all the best moving forward, and you take care. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Sure thing. Once again, Austin Jablonski, wide receiver, Concordia University, Nebraska. Check him out.